a memorable moment from medical school. So, this is probably pretty powerful for most physicians out there and most surgeons. The first day of cadaver lab. So I was and actually I have even a crazier story that I can get to towards the end. The first day of cadaver lab, you go to the basement. I was in the Detroit, Michigan, Detroit Med School in the basement, Wayne State University now. And you're in a huge basement, low ceilings. It obviously has that formaldehyde smell. You never forget this smell. You walk in and it just hits your nostrils. And whenever I smell that, I can kind of picture this room. And it was about 45 dead bodies, naked dead bodies, with formaldehyde, preserved. And then we were about a team of 6 medical students to each body. They actually told you what your person was. So my guy was a firefighter, before he died, and he died of lymphoma, I think. He had a hip replacement, so I remember that. I can close my eyes and honestly picture all of his muscles and bones. It was crazy. And when we cut him like head to toe over the month, we did the entire dissection. So, and it was really intense. And there was a little bit of a reverence to it, so it was kind of weird. You would think, we were young and goofing around a lot, but when you went in the cadaver lab, you were pretty straight shooter. You wouldn't really goof around in there. So, and I'm definitely grateful for the people that donated their bodies to science in that way. Actually, my grandfather died when I was in medical school, donated his body to my medical school. So they had to make super clear that I'd never crossed paths with them. I mean, it was a little bit of a stressful situation, but you wouldn't really recognize people, I think, if you knew them, because the formaldehyde really deforms the body and the soft tissues of the face. But that moment, and I was a little queasy. I was never anybody that queasy, and it wasn't like the blood or there really isn't blood. It was just like the sense of it, the sense of seeing a dead body, touching a dead body. I mean, I hadn't done that before, so. So that was a really intense moment, and a powerful moment. I mean, honestly, I bet if you ask probably at least any surgeon, because I still think about that anatomy. If I close my eyes, I can see the guy's muscles, and there's not many surgeries I would say that about of live patients. So that was pretty intense. I did a lot of cadaver studies in my research years too. So with noses, it would just be the head. It's even crazier because we would just buy a dozen cadaver heads, and we would have them all laid out, and we would just dissect them all differently, over and over, and it would just be their heads. The further you get into it, the more mechanical it becomes, the more detached. So for better or worse, it lost its reverence a little bit. I was still respectful, obviously, but it lost its kind of power. I don't remember the last, 25 cadaver heads I dissected, but the first guy I still remember. And he was super fit, so it was a really good guy to learn on, because his muscles were a lot of people get these 90-year-old, my grandfather was 90 years old when he died, so his bones are his muscles are thinned and the skin is thin, so the anatomy is a little bit harder to appreciate. The guy I worked with was, I think he was 50 years old when he passed, and was really muscular, so it was a really good person to learn on. But yeah, that's one of those things that I'll never forget, and I'm forever grateful. Okay, all you gotta do is subscribe. You're gonna feel hotter as soon as you press the button.